Hi, third grade. We are ready to start our cup weaving project. Now, with this project, weaving can be a little bit difficult. Okay, we've done paper weaving before, but never actual weaving on a 3D object. So, I'm going to talk you through this. Now, if I ever feel like I'm talking too fast, please feel free to pause the video until you catch up. Now, the first thing you're going to do is you already have your first color picked out. So I've got my first color and I have my cup. Your cup should already have all of the slits cut in it. I've cut all of the slits in it. And the second thing you should do is you should have a Sharpie and you should write your name on the bottom. Write my name right now. Okay, write your name on the bottom. And then you're going to take your first yarn color. And what I want you to do is you're going to pull off a piece that's like the length of your arm. So I have it in my hand like this. I'm stretching it out about the length of your arm. It doesn't have to be perfect, but just really close. Then I'm going to cut it. Okay, so I've got my long piece to start. Now, here's the tricky part. You need to tie a small knot in the end. You can do this by wrapping a loop around your finger and then pulling it through the loop, pulling it through, and pulling it tight like this, okay? So here's my knot. Now what you don't want to do is pull your knot really, really tight, because I'm just going to show you, watch. If I pull my knot really, really tight, you can't even tell there's a knot there. So I'm going to retie my knot. If that happens, just retie another knot. And you're going to keep your knot kind of loose like this. Okay. So you've got a little bitty tail right here before your knot. You don't have to have your knot right at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick one of these little slits and I'm going to slide the knot all the way down to the bottom. Okay. So my knot is in the inside, and the knot is preventing the yarn from slipping through the little slit. Now, as you know in weaving, weaving is over, under, over, under, over, under. Okay. So that's exactly what you guys are going to do with your weaving, but with your cup. So my yarn starts out, right? So my first one, I'm going to go over, and then I'm going to go behind the second one. I'm going to hold it up so you can see it. So I have not, so I went over, and this one went under because it's in behind. So over, and then behind, so under. Okay, now my next one is going to go over. So I'm going to just go over, and I'm going to put it behind the other one. And every time you do an over-under, you want to push it down so your yarn is at the bottom, because you want it to be a straight line across the bottom. You don't want a big gap like this. See how it goes up and then back down? So you want to keep it flat at the bottom. Okay, so I'm pulling it tight, but I'm not pulling it too tight to where it bends my cup. Okay, now I'm ready to go over again. I'm gonna go over this one and then back under. Okay, so I'm almost back to the beginning where I started. Okay, you can see that there's one more that I haven't done yet. So if this one goes over, this one goes under, this one should go over. Okay, so I'm going to go over this one, and now I'm basically just weaving in a circle. So now now I'm back to the beginning, and I'm pulling it tight. Okay, and now I just keep going back and forth, over, under, over. I'm going behind this one, and you're going to be kind of slow at first, and that's fine. You'll get faster as you go. The main thing is you want to keep them kind of tight. So I don't want to see a big loose flap right here. Okay, if that happens, you need to take your string and pull it tighter. Now you don't want to pull it too tight because your cup can break. So I'm keep going over and under. And every time I go over or under, I push it together to keep it nice and tight. Because just like in a weaving, you want to keep it very nice and tight together. And over. And be very careful not to bend these little flaps with your cup. So my string is almost running out, and you can tell I have about 3 or so rows. So now I'm here. Remember, I should push it down. So I need to push down and pull tight. That's what I always say. Push down, which I mean by this, by pushing it down, using your finger to kind of push the yarn down. So push down, pull tight. Over, under, over. Okay. So I've got one little tail left. Okay. Now this tail is enough for me to go over this next one. Over this one. So I'm going to go over it. But I don't have enough string. Can you see it in there? This one right here. But I don't have enough string to bring it back around, okay? So what I have to do is I have to start another one. So I'm gonna start another one, but I have to always start it in the next one over. So you're gonna do the same thing. You're gonna pull an arm's length of yarn. You're going to tie a knot, remember, a loose knot. Here's my knot, okay. Okay, so here's where it ended. It ended right in here. So I'm going to pull it tight and tuck it. I'm going to pull it tight and I'm going to tuck it down. Pull tight and I'm pulling it down towards the bottom of the cup. And now since I ended here, I need to put my knot in the next one. So I'm just making a little jump. Okay, so I'm going to put my knot and slide my knot right down in this one. Okay, so now my knot is picking up right where my other one left off. So I'm just doing the same thing, over, under. Pull, push down, pull tight. Remember, take your nail, tuck them down, pull tight. I'm gonna weave through the rest of this part just so you can see what kind of a thick area will look like. I'm almost done with this one again. I'm getting the hang of going pretty fast. See how it's getting thicker right here? Okay, I've got one little tail left, so I'm just going to tuck it in, tuck it inside, and I'm going to pull it down. So now you can tell I've got a nice little thick area started. The main thing is you want to keep them pushed down to keep it really tight together. Because a blanket, if you think about a blanket that's woven, it's very tightly knit woven here. So see how? Now, okay, look up close. See how I have, let's count, 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? Before you can go add to another color, like I'm gonna do white next, you need to have at least 6 strings, okay? At least 6 in one of your little areas. So this one I have 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? So you have to have at least 6 before you can move on to your next color, okay? And when you're adding a new color, you do the same thing. You just pick up, so mine ended, let's see, mine ended right here, it's tucked down in right here. So I make a little jump to the next one, and this is where my knot goes and slides down in right here. And that's where I'll start off with white. Okay, now, I know this is very confusing, but start from the beginning and just pull off your arm's length of yarn, tie your knot, and start going. In front, behind, in front, behind, in front, behind. And it's almost like a big spiral that you're making, okay? Good luck!